the mother and Sri Aurobindo, and all brothers and sisters. So in our group, today, according to today's discussion, we did some discussion related to perfection. And initially there are 4 questions which are given to us. So question was like, what is material perfection, human perfection, divine perfection, supramental perfection. Second question is related to the equilibrium, what the mother talks about perfection and equilibrium. Third question is about supramental action and the receptivity towards the perfection. And fourth question was related to individual perfection and collective perfection. So in our group, up to some extent we try to discuss because the time was limited for us. And it is not only one day that we will be able to summarize and understand things unless and until you practice. So this is only a mental conception, so what we have understood that we will be presenting to you. So generally mother is saying, when people say perfection means it is some kind of extreme. Either this time left or right. It is an extreme, but mother says it is not an apex, it is not an extreme, it is an equilibrium. And also she explained what is an equilibrium. Also people are getting confused with what is progress and what is perfection. Mother is saying the progress is helping towards the perfection, but progress is not exactly what perfection is. Because perfection is a state, it is a state of equilibrium. Somebody has also asked the mother, so for example, let's say, if I want to realize something and there is an obstacle in front of me to realize something. So if with any kind of sadhana, I go beyond that obstacle to realize that something, can I say that thing is in a perfection? The mother is saying, yes, up to some extent, but again, it is also a mental conception, which is not perfection. So it means that perfection is something we cannot conceptualize in our mind what exactly perfection is. Until we become perfect, we cannot talk about what is perfection. Like, until or unless we become divine, we cannot say what is divine. Only these are the mental conceptions we are throwing upon each other. So another question was there, what is divine perfection? Okay, when we understand about material and human perfection, generally we see whatever we are doing right now, if we can do in a little better way, then we say we have done in a perfect way. But exactly that is not perfection. And it is also an horizontal perfection. So we are expanding ourselves when we are trying to do something better, which is not exactly the perfection is. So what is divine perfection? And mother also talked about the equilibrium. So any kind of divine force which wants to descend in you in the exact amount of quality and quantity, if you are able to exactly manifest that becomes the perfection. So it is a state of equilibrium rather than which cannot be quantifiable, which cannot be measured. There is no such kind of measurement you can perfect, but whatever at any point of time, whatever, even I can't say the divine wants you because the mother has written, that is also different. The amount of the divine force is trying to manifest through you in that quality and quantity, that becomes the divine, that becomes the perfection. So those who have studied science and seen also electronic instruments, there are some resistors, if you have seen, there are small resistors. So what is happening, so a current is passing here, some amount of ampere and volts, maybe I don't know the exact science word. So what are the resistors doing? The resistors are controlling the amount of the current passing through these instruments. Otherwise the instruments will not function at all. Alright. So it is resisting the current. So that's why there are many resistors. If you open any kind of electronic instruments, you will be able to see. So in the same manner, there are many invisible resistors within our body, in our mental, physical and also vital level, which is actually resisting the divine power which is trying to manifest us. So this is one kind of analogy that we can see. Because if we right now also, because since we are not ready, and the divine force will also try to manifest with us, I don't know whether we'll fall flat or we'll be able to hold that power or not. Mother talks about also divine perfection. So generally we understand about which is virtuous, divine, beautiful, admirable, we talk about perfection. But the mother says divine perfection is the divine in its wholeness, ek samagrata, in totality. That is the divine perfection, which doesn't leave anything at all. So it is complete sense, it is in totality, that is the divine perfection. So mother also saying perfection and unity, there are two ways, there are two approach towards the divine. And somebody also asked, mother say, you cannot even say of his will, because that still implies something apart, something emanate from him. So if I am saying this is my will, so my will is exactly I am not. My will is something which is separating apart from me. So when we are talking about even the divine will, that is also the not perfection. So it is the divine who is only the perfection. Mother also is saying, if you say he is what he is and exactly he wants to be, these are the mother has written, exactly as he wants to be, also taking us a few steps downwards to exactly understand what is perfection. It is up to some extent right, but it is also not in total. Then we'll talk about the supramental perfection. So what I understand maybe divine perfection is something which is abstract, but when the divine perfection will be manifested in a supramental body the first time, that can be the supramental perfection, where the body will be conscious and also the conscious of the consciousness it is holding and the all kind of activities it is doing. Mother says, even the embodied God cannot be perfect upon earth unless and until men are ready to understand and accept that perfection. So unless and until even we understand what the God is, and any God avatar who is coming, that they also cannot be perfect. Then we'll move towards supramental force and our receptivity. So how can we prepare ourselves for receptivity so that we can move towards the perfection? Mother says when on Wednesday, Wednesday, the supramental force was descended. On that day onwards, I am working on this. And wherever there is a group of people and the soil is like fertile, the supramental force will work on that. It is not that it is only working in the ashram. It is nothing called like monopoly business. Wherever people are aspiring for that, there is a collectivity, there is a group of people who are unifying themselves and working towards the divine. Then there is a ground for this receptivity. Divine force will descend there and it will work. There are also questions which are put to the mother. So, mother, on what does receptivity depend? Mother is saying it is completely depend on your sincerity and humility. The moment you have some kind of vanity, and then you say that whatever I have achieved so far, this is done, then, and there is no thrust for the progress for you, then you are done. You will not be able to move towards the perfection level, and will not be able to also receive what is also given to you. We could not discuss much about the individual perfection and collective perfection because due to the lack of time. But I can just say a few things like, since it is a collective yoga and collective movement, even one individual cannot, perfect individual may not be, I am not so sure about, can perfect the world. That's why this movement, collective movement is required. And that's the individual, so it is a both the world. The individual will prepare the collective and also the collective will prepare the individual. Like when in a group of members we are going to some place, like if one member is ahead of the group, that member is what is doing, is waiting for you. And when the entire group is reaching to that particular state, then also they are going together. Alright. So unless and until we are moving in a group, in a collective way, so we cannot move towards the perfection. So that's the entire discussion we had. Few questions that we have, I can just ask one or two after that. We discussed like, we start with a study circle, then there are schools. So there are dual thoughts that schools are established so that people should get to know more about the Mother and Sri Aurobindo, and they can come here and also connected to with this yoga. There are also some thoughts that after the Patachakra there should be some kind of Gnostic society who can hold the school or any activities that is being done here. So that's why there is a lot of disharmony here. And the disharmony is coming because we are trying to push people, we are trying to manage school, manage our institutions, not with the people who are conscious, but we are trying to hire people from outside, those who are not holding this consciousness. Baba, somewhere also people are saying, I have not read, Babaji Maharaj has also said that we are establishing, like opening new schools so that this message should go. But we are always being a part of the school and trying to manage the school. That's where many things are which are not happening properly and we are not able to move towards that perfection side. So these are the questions, whether we should have a Gnostic society, then the school and activity, or we should have school, people will come and then later on the Gnostic society will affect. So what would be the sequence for that? That is the question.